Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Friday edition of the Auburn Blitz. Brett and Scott here with you for your lunch hour. Glad that you've joined us out there. Our program brought to you by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, and J.A. Smith Construction, Residential, and Commercial. You can call the program 256-234-6221. If you'd like to, you can comment away on Facebook Live, as most of you do throughout the program. We'd love to hear from you out there. Jason Caldwell will be on the program a little bit after 12:30, so you'd want to stay tuned for that, as he is every Friday. Always glad to have Jason on, and there's a lot to ask Jason. A big series. First off, Scott, talking with baseball this coming weekend, starting tonight with the LSU Tigers, number one team in the country, sold out all three games. You wouldn't expect anything different. You got graduation going on at Auburn this weekend, and the Eagle will fly for the first time ever on Saturday.
Or tomorrow, okay.
Yeah, on Saturday.
That's cool stuff. That's a lot going on down there for sure. I caught the interview yesterday when y'all had Coach on here, and he did a great job. Just super classy, nice guy, and he gave y'all about 10, 12 minutes. It was a good.
Well, we could have gone a lot longer with him. Again, very busy. Glad that he was, able to take some time out and spend with us on the program. One thing he did mention, Scott, that there's going to be a change up in the pitching rotation this weekend. You're going to have Chase Alsop going tonight against one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher in the country. And for LSU, the transfer, I believe it was from Air Force. I believe that's where he came from. But anyway, it's going to be a big series where, I think he's trying to do some strategy here. Come back with Tommy Vale on Saturday, not go head-to-head with this guy who's 8-1 and has got like a 1.2 ERA on the season, has really dominated his opponents this year. So it's not saying you're waving the white flag tonight. It's just playing strategy because, Tommy Vale has been so good. Now, there is risk when you change up the rotation like that. Tommy Vale's been strong the last 5 weeks on Friday, and it's kind of solidified that. So, from a coaching standpoint, you kind of roll the dice a little bit and say, hey, we're going to push you back a day and get you on Saturday.
Well, he mentioned because the next couple series start on Thursdays or something.
That's right.
It's messing everything up anyway, so he's just kind of rearranging.
Yeah, coming down, to the end, you got Ole Miss on the road, and then you got Missouri at home.
Back at home.
So two very winnable series where, both of those teams sit in the league, and Ole Miss sitting down there at the bottom, Missouri next to the bottom in the East over there. So some good opportunities. But tonight, the first game against LSU, Auburn's been fortunate enough the last 4 weeks to win that Friday game. It gets them off to a good start.
Right.
Kind of gives you some momentum going into the rest of the series. You look at LSU and Alabama this past weekend. Lots of runs scored in that series. Alabama, just a couple of runs, difference in those games. One of them was 13-11. One was 10-8, I think. So one was 8-6.
Yeah. Didn't Alabama beat Vandy last night?
They did.
They beat them pretty bad.
Scalded them.
Yeah,
I think it was 11-4.
Yeah.
Was the final. So,
yeah.
If you can hit the baseball like Auburn can, you got a chance. This kid's going to be one of the best pitchers they've seen all year. But,
right.
It's going to be a rabid environment. LSU will bring some fans because they always do.
They will.
When they come, and I've been to several Auburn-LSU series, and it's amazing how many LSU fans show up,
That's
for a baseball series. They're rabid about baseball there. But, again, going back, you got to look at it from a standpoint of using that strategy. Chase Alsop really has kind of stepped into that role and really given Auburn some good innings over the last several weeks. So I'm sure Coach Thompson said, look, we're going to give you the ball. Yeah, look, no pressure.
Right.
Just go out there and do your thing, see what you can give us, and see how long you can go and before we have to dip into the bullpen. But, the key for Auburn has been been able to get some leads and be able to play from ahead and not try to fight from behind, and no midweek game this week for them. So they're going straight into this series, coming off that big series win against
should be well
South
rested.
Carolina.
I mean, all the pitchers should be well rested. Everybody should be well rested. So hopefully it'll be fun. Is it on TV? Is it on SEC
Yeah,
Plus,
I think it's on that. All three will be televised, but I don't know which ones will be on what. But yeah, definitely SEC Plus. But this is a big series. You know, you look at South Carolina, the number 3 team in the country last week on the road. You got number 1 coming in this week. You know, their RPI jumped up from 47 to 35, Scott. And if you get another series win here, man, it's going to rock it up. I'm not saying this is enough to get Auburn into a regional because they still have work to do, as you heard Coach Thompson say, in those last 2 series. But if you beat the 2 of the best teams in the country back-to-back weeks,
at this point in the season,
I think you've turned a lot of heads. And without some monumental collapse against now, Ole Miss scored a bunch of runs last night. Again, it was actually Ole Miss and Missouri playing each other, and it came down to the very end. But Ole Miss, they can score too. Their pitching has kind of been their Achilles heel as well. And but you got 2 series at the end that you feel like you should be the favorite to win.
you should be. There's just a lot of scoring. I mean, everybody's scoring runs. So you know.
David said Saturday the game will be on the SEC Network. The other 2 will probably be
on Plus.
SEC Plus. Yeah. So if you got ESPN Plus, you'll be able to watch those games. Again, I don't think any of us thought that we'd be sitting here talking about this with this team about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
A month and a half ago,
this team looked horrible. I mean,
we
pitching was terrible. You know, the news of Joseph Gonzalez trying to wait to see if he could come back. And, it's – almost like when they found out he wasn't going to be back, it's like all these guys said, all right, we got to step up now.
Yeah, you got to.
And they've been impressive. And, they win that series against Mississippi State. They come off, and then they go on the road and win South Carolina. You look at the Alabama series, they only gave up 11 runs. That's probably one of the better pitching performances we've had. Only gave up 11 runs and lost 2 out of 3.
If we do well this weekend in the next couple of series and we get into maybe a regional, it might be one of the best coaching years we've had as far as developing pitchers that he brought them along during the year.
Well, you heard him say yesterday. He said, look, I think, our pitching's starting to hit its stride a little bit. And, you want to peak at the right time. And I think that's what you've seen with Coach Thompson over the last 4 or 5 years is Auburn's playing its best baseball when you're heading into postseason.
Right.
And it's been opposite of that for basketball.
I know.
We've kind of last year, we peaked about 3/4 of the way through, and then kind of just we're trying to find ourselves again, and ended up going to the tournament, losing in the second round, lost in the second round again this year.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a better coaching job, like you said, with Butch, with Bruce, and that deal. But the consistency of our program, I know I'm speaking to the choir, everybody watching and listening out there. He's the best coach in the league to me.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at what he has to work with, from scholarship, he doesn't have the same, and we've discussed it on the show multiple times. We're not Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, and Louisiana and Mississippi with these inherent, built-in advantages through funding and scholarships and stuff through the legislature. We don't have that.
Don't have it at all.
And so, we lose a lot of kids to those teams because they have, quote unquote, more offers. They don't have to just go with the allotted scholarships from the NCAA. They can bring a guy in and use supplemental funds to do it, and we don't have that.
We're not. Our pockets aren't near as deep as theirs are.
Why can't we figure that out in Montgomery? I mean, seriously.
It's a sports show. We can't be discussing that on here.
Yeah, unfortunately, we talk a lot about politics. On here. But again, big series with LSU, and again, we'll have Jason Caldwell on a little bit past 12:36 to talk about that series. A lot of recruiting we're going to talk about here on the program today. I was just on Gary Harris's show, and we'll tail off with this. Scott, and then kind of dive back into it on the other side. But obviously the big news yesterday was Brad Bohannon being fired from Alabama. And the more that you hear about this, the worse it sounds. Yes. And it does look like, again, nothing firm has been released, but You don't fire a guy unless you have some definitive information.
Not that quick.
Not as
that
fast
quick,
as they did. And man, I tell you, it's like Gary told me, and he's running that show out of Tuscaloosa. And it's an Alabama show, and he said, "Man, I'm just so disappointed." And really the only word that he could come up with, and I talked about it, at length yesterday about the integrity of sports, and when a coach does that, not only if it comes out to be what we think it is, he's betting against his team.
I know. It's crazy.
Pete Rose bet on his team, but I mean, it doesn't make it any better.
No.
It's still gambling, but that's another thing I want to talk to you about on the flip side, get your thoughts on this. The G word used to be a no-no when you brought up college athletics, even pro.
Right.
Now you've got NFL endorsing FanDuel, colleges endorsing gambling. I think it's I think the underbelly of this thing's a lot bigger than most people would like to think.
It probably is. You know it is. I mean, if this is just the tip of the iceberg, I'm sure. But I hope it doesn't go on every.
Do you think it's more frequent than we think it is?
It has to be. For it to happen over there, it has to be. It has to be. I just hope it doesn't come on this side of the state.
We'll talk about it some more when we come back up against our first break of the show. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
WF Cabinetry in Alex City has immediate openings for first and second shift production roles in addition to immediate openings for Class A CDL drivers with the ability to be at home weekly. We're ready for you to join our family and grow with us. Prior cabinet experience is always welcome. Second shift offers a flexible 10-hour, 4-day work schedule, giving you a great work-life balance right here at home. WF Cabinetry offers excellent health insurance and 401k benefits as well as an employee purchase discount with daily production bonus opportunities. You can apply in person at 2212 Airport Boulevard in Alexander City or call 256-234-7900.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road, 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Continental Roofing is your local roofer. If you think you have roof damage, call Continental Roofing for a free inspection and let us provide all the paperwork necessary to open your insurance claim. We work very well with all insurance companies, but we work for you. Your interests come first. You have assurance that Continental will install a quality roof at a fair price. In the unlikely case that you have a warranty issue, you can have the peace of mind knowing that Continental Roofing is your local roofer.
No monthly payments for 90 days at Glenn Smith Buick GMC in Opelika. New GMC Sierra Crew Cabs discounted up to $10,000 off. New GMC Terrains up to $5,250 off. And new Buick Encore GX up to $4,750 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. 45 minutes left in the program today. You can call us if you'd like to talk to us about anything, 256-234-6221. You can comment away. Ed said, I heard when Bohannon placed his bet, Saban said, get me $100,000 on LSU. Happy Friday with laughing faces. Now, here, I want to go back and talk about what I brought up to you before the break. How prevalent do you think this is in sports as a whole? And when I mean prevalent, players, coaches involved in actually betting on games they're participating in.
Well, you know, in your mind,
they're obviously not stupid enough to do it themselves,
right?
But because obviously Brad Bohannon. Here's the thing: this may have been his first time, but you don't think it was his first time. And again, you were talking about phones. Well, it's clear, sounding to me, what they said is they saw the guy. He's on surveillance on the phone. Well, all you got to do is say, all right, that's the guy that placed the bet. Go trace his phone records.
Who was he talking to?
Who was he talking to at that time? Well, It pops up. He's talking to the head baseball coach at Alabama, and he's placing a bet on the Alabama LSU game. There's a little bit of a tie there.
There's a major tie. You know, you hope just for the people who love the sport or any sport, you know, you just the purity of the fun of athletics is just shot to heck and back if this is going on everywhere.
You know, it's always been, especially in pro sports.
Right.
You know, the NBA I'll use as an example. And a lot of times you hear why wouldn't you want the series to go 7 games? Mm-hmm. Why would you want somebody to sweep somebody? Mm-hmm. You know. How can we rig this thing so it at least goes 6 or whatever? Because, you know, if you go 7, that's 3 more games than you didn't have if somebody gets swept. Again, all it does is open the door for people to say, well, man, that crap's rigged.
Oh,
you know, that guy. Hey, look, Auburn had a guy, Perez Ward, a few years ago, was caught point shaving, man.
Oh, basketball. Yeah.
And he was playing, and he was out. So, again, we see this stuff pop up from time to time. I think there are well-oiled machines out there through avenues that people bet and say, look, you do it, I'll get the money to you, whatever. I got to stay out of it. This was just such a blatant and dumb move if it comes out to be this obvious.
Right. It's crazy.
He don't have any better sense than that.
I guess not. You know, I've always said, like you mentioned, NBA, the 7-game series, you can pretty much call it. All right, game 3, LA's going to win that one. Game 5,
right.
Boston's going to win that one. You can pretty much call.
Well, it's just odd.
Yeah.
Okay, let's use the Golden State LA series right now. Mm-hmm. LA goes on the road. LA's been a mediocre team all year, right? Mm-hmm. You know, they had to do the play-in and had to do all that, get in, and they get in the first game, and again, what are they, an 8 seed or a 7 seed? And
right.
Golden State's a 6, whatever. But man, they go into Golden State, who hasn't lost hardly at home, win the first game, and then last night just get obliterated, man. I mean, really?
Thompson, he just what's
Clay Thompson.
Clay, his daddy's Michael, yeah. I mean, he had 40, he hit 8 threes, and they couldn't do it. It was right the opposite game. So how do you change that quickly?
Well, again, that's what gets everybody speculating, and you know, for years. And I know there was a scandal with NBA officials there for a while, and it's hard to overcome that stuff when you. We didn't ask Coach Thompson about it on the show yesterday. Didn't want to hit him up, on that right out of the gate, but Coach Thompson hired him at Auburn from Kentucky. Gave him an opportunity. The Alabama job came open. Encouraged him to take that job. And anytime you have an opportunity to take a head coaching job, and I thought Brad Bohannon had done a pretty good job of what he inherited at Alabama and building it to where it is now. But man, just getting caught in a web of something like Gary Harris said this morning on his show with me. He said, there are certain things you just absolutely don't do or want to be associated with if you're a coach.
For him to be at that, if this is all true, for him to be at that point, he's been in for a while. He just didn't elect to do this. So he's.
But how much was the wagers? Anybody know? I haven't seen. Yeah. How much was the wager that caused the red flag? Had to have been big.
Right. What does a Bama coach, head baseball coach, get paid per year?
I don't know.
But they make good money.
$500,000.
I mean, that's good money. So
maybe more than that.
If you're placing, a $500,000 bet on something, why?
Yeah. Again, you're paid to do, a job. But again, that insider stuff. I brought this up yesterday. I said, it's no different insider trading.
Right.
There's insider trading going on right now on Wall Street. Some get caught, some don't.
That's right.
And this is what I fear is it's kind of like a roach crawling across the floor. If you see one, there's probably 100 in the wall.
That's right.
It's just not Brad Bohannon out here doing this. And again, all the stuff that got unraveled a few years ago with Chuck Person and all that kind of stuff. And, there's underbellies to all these sports. I think we all try to not think about the bad side of things a lot of times, but there's a whole dark side to some of this stuff. And, what happens with Brad Bohannon? When he makes a statement finally, does he throw some other people out there? Does he know some more stuff on some other people?
I don't know.
I mean, a lot of times it doesn't just end with that guy.
Well, they investigate. They're going to get in and investigate the players at Alabama, or where they say if another coach gets caught doing this, or the players.
I saw a tweet from an Alabama fan last night, and they showed the ending of the game last night where Alabama had beaten Vanderbilt, and Greg Byrne went out on the field to greet the team, and he was over there shaking hands and hugging coaches, and one of the coaches, I couldn't tell who it was, just kind of went like that, and it was kind of like, whoa, and the guy made a comment and said that didn't look like a very friendly embrace right there. And he said it didn't look like the team was all that excited even last night, even after a big win over Vanderbilt. They're disgusted, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Being brought into all this.
Yeah, if they didn't know about it, how mad would they be? I'm hoping they don't know about it.
Well, the problem is, and Alabama almost came back and won that game. It's an ironic thing.
Yeah.
But the problem is that he can make moves to steer that game one way or the other. Somebody might overcome it, but he can go, I'm going to take that guy out, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to pinch hit for this guy to kind of ensure that a result is done. It's just terrible. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Halfway through the program, stay tuned. Coming up after this segment, we'll have Jason Caldwell with Inside the Auburn Tigers to give us a full rundown of things going on down on the plains. This is what Auburn's faced with tonight. Paul Skeens, the pitcher, the number one that we'll see tonight, 8-1 on the season, 1.92 ERA, throws anywhere between 99 to 100, 101 been clocked this year. With an 86 to 90 mile an hour slider. Most of these scouts are saying there's nobody else in this class comparable to him. He is absolutely the top pitcher. It's predicted that he'll go number 1 overall in the draft if his teammate doesn't beat him out for it. The center fielder, Dylan Cruz, he's hitting 485. I don't know how many homers he's got, but just a phenomenal player himself. So I mean, if you're looking at it from a standpoint, Scott, of why LSU is who they are, and again, Paul Skeens transferred from Air Force in the transfer portal, so this was a pickup this year for LSU. What a great addition that was for them. You got 2 potential number 1 draft picks. It could go 1 and 2.
Right.
In the draft.
No knock on Air Force, but how did he – I mean, unless he just joined the Air Force or something, but how in the world was he not recruited by other top schools in baseball?
I don't know. I mean, an article I read said that, he started out as an 89 to 92 guy.
He might have grown.
And now he said has just exploded into a guy that throws in the high 90s and even touches 100. Here and there. So if you want to know why he's got a 1.92 ERA, you said it off air. You don't practice against that unless you get out there with a machine and rev it up. And a machine's different than a guy that's throwing something that's got a lot of movement on it. And,
right.
He's not just throwing a fastball down the middle that's flat. I mean, his fastball is probably running in or out, depending on what side of the plate you're hitting on. And then you throw a daggum 86 to 90 mile an hour slider in the mix,
and you just fall all over yourself.
That's hard to do. Ed said, "Here's the real question: how many people will Bohannon be throwing under the bus?" That's a good question. I mean, I brought it up in the last segment. I mean, we haven't heard from him yet. He's going to make a statement. I would think. Make a statement based on what his attorney's telling him he can say and do. But
it may be too soon right now, but sometime late next week.
All right, here's the next phase of this that we didn't talk about, and we'll move on because we don't have much time on the show. But the feds are going to be involved.
Sure they are.
This is gambling and, across state lines and, illegal. This could be looking at prison. Not just losing your job. You could be looking at, if convicted, depending on how serious it is, and then going back. Now, here's the deal. They're not just going to look. They're going to dig to see how long this has been going on.
That's right.
Again, if this is the first time and you get caught, it's like, okay, so be it.
What was I thinking?
Yeah, how stupid. But I have a feeling that they're going to dig and they're going to find more stuff, and more people are going to be involved, more stuff. I mean, we just – nobody knows anything really but the surface of this thing right now. But that's another part of this thing, Scott, that nobody's really talking about is the federal government.
No. It'll come. Yeah, and we're just now learning stuff. Over the next couple of days, next week will be a telltale sign. What happens next week, Monday and Tuesday, will be a telltale sign.
No doubt about it. Let's go back real quick. Probable starters, it will be Chase Alsop tonight for Auburn going against Paul Skeens. Chase Alsop doesn't have a record. He's 0-0 because he comes out of the bullpen. Not a very good ERA because he has to come in a lot of precarious situations, a 7.52, but he's really started to pitch a lot better here lately, enough for Butch Thompson to have confidence to give him the ball tonight. Auburn will move their ace, Tommy Vale, to Saturday, 4-1, a 3.8 ERA. A go against Ty Floyd, who is 6-0 for LSU, but has a 4.68 ERA, so he gives up some runs there. Looks like on Sunday, Auburn will go ahead and name a guy, Christian Herberholtz.
Oh, wow.
And haven't been doing that the last several weeks, but Herberholtz will get the nod against Christian Little, who is 2-1 and a 4.5 ERA there. Herberholtz with a 4.69 ERA. So there's your starting pitchers for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Again, the Eagle flight on Saturday will be the first time that's ever happened outside of Jordan-Hare Stadium.
I wonder where they're going to start him. I mean, there's not really anything really tall out there unless they go on the building across the way.
It'll be unique.
Yeah,
so that game will be on SEC Network, like David said, on Saturday. So that'll be cool to see and watch. But let's talk some Auburn softball real quick. Auburn, before we go to break, and again we'll have Jason Caldwell on with us. Auburn softball, Scott, really playing well. Got Mississippi State coming in this weekend. This is a series where you feel like Auburn should win it at home.
Did I say so? I don't think Penta's starting tonight. Or is she starting tonight? I thought I saw something where somebody else was, but
I haven't seen any.
I would expect her to start.
I haven't seen, this will be the senior series, so they'll honor the seniors tonight. But I haven't heard
they're doing something special on Sunday.
Right.
It's an early game.
It's at 11 o'clock in the morning. So, I don't know. I haven't seen who the probable starters would be. Would think Penta would get the start tonight, but we'll see. But anyway, going back, Auburn sitting there at 37-15 on the season. Get a sweep, you get to 40. Even if you don't get the sweep, you win the series, you win 2, go to the SEC tournament. You probably get that first round bye. You maybe get a couple wins in the SEC tournament. You're over 40 wins there. I think you host a regional.
You do. Yeah, they'll be in Auburn.
Been an impressive year for Mickey Dean.
They've done really well.
If they can continue on this stretch. Up against another break, we come back. Jason Caldwell with Inside the Auburn Tigers. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hey, I'm Jeff Burt, General Manager here at Greenway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Anniston, where it's Ram Truck Month. Save up to $12,176 off Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn. That's a savings of 20%. Or select 1.9% interest for 72 months and save over $13,500 in interest. So come see us for all these deals and more here at Greenway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Anniston.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front lines. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce. Because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
OGS Tournaments. Russell Marine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023. Coastal Construction Design is the area's storm specialist experts and offers free roof inspections absolutely free to assess your needs. Their roofing experts get your home or commercial needs handled from start to finish. They have worked with all major insurance sources for decades, and they are permitted and approved for Lake Martin. Coastal Construction Design also handles exterior restoration, including siding and gutters. They are also a GAF certified contractor. Visit coastalconstruction.pro or call 251-215-3429. Coastal Construction Design. All things roofing from start to end.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker CDJR is now Sons Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons CDJR of Montgomery, family owned, family driven.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Couple segments left in today's show. We'll go right to the phone lines and welcome in our good friend Jason Caldwell with Inside the Auburn Tigers with breaking news as he comes on the air, and I will let Jason say it. Jason, first of all, glad to have you, buddy, but some pretty big news here as we bring you into the program.
Yep, we put out a kind of behind the crystal ball, myself, Christian Clemente, and Chris Hummer from 247 Sports about why we thought that Peyton Thorne was headed to Auburn. And here about 24 hours later, it's happened. He just tweeted out, War Eagle, he's headed to Auburn. And, obviously you start talking about things that you needed. And Auburn was looking for the right guy at quarterback all along. But you combine that with the loss of T.J. Finley, and you needed the right guy, but you also needed a guy. And they're bringing in a guy that has 49 career touchdown passes, has a single-season touchdown passing record at Michigan State. It started a bunch of games. Still has 2 years of eligibility left, which is a big deal too. And so you put all those things together, and this is a guy that makes Auburn better. Now, you still got to come win the job, because last year at this time everybody just penciled in Zach Calzada to be Auburn's starter, and it didn't happen. You still got to come win the job, but this gives Auburn some more legitimate competition in that quarterback room when they get to August.
Yeah, it does, Jason. Watching this kind of unfold, went into the portal just this past Sunday, and here it is on Friday, committing to Auburn. You could tell this coaching staff really ramped up what they wanted to do when he got in the portal, and really wanted to court him pretty hard. And, while Casey Thompson was on campus, that was the crazy thing from Nebraska. So two really good options that were in the portal at the same time. And but as you mentioned, we've been talking about Peyton Thorne all week on the program. His stats, especially in 21, led him to an 11-2 record. Just a phenomenal season, threw 27 touchdowns that year, only 10 interceptions, had over 3,400 yards passing. This is a guy that now, with the revamped offensive line and a full running back room, this could be a potent offense.
Yeah, and, the thing about last season, I went back and looked. That Michigan State offense averaged 113 yards a game rushing. That's average rushing. I went back and looked at them. Against Ohio State, they had 7 yards. Against Michigan, they had 25. Against Penn State, they had like 25. They were a dreadfully bad team running the football last year. He still had 19 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and basically had no help. And so I think you look at it, and he was left to fend for himself last season, and still did a pretty darn good job of it. And so I think you're right. I think you put him with a running game. We saw in 2021, that was a team that ran the football pretty well. He put up some really good numbers and led them to 11 wins. So, yeah, I think you look at it, it's a really big addition that, again, a position that where Auburn, they needed to add to the group, to bring in somebody that could come in and compete in August, and they've done that with Peyton Thorne for sure.
Yeah, Jason, this is big for Coach Freeze, and obviously he made mention that this he wasn't going to just take anybody. And just a week ago, I think at an ambush event, he said, look, until this point, we haven't really seen anybody in the portal that set the woods on fire to us. And it was a no-brainer. And, he said he'd gotten text messages and tweets from people going, hey, this guy's in there and this guy. And he's like, I see it, but that's not the right fit. What made him really want to just go out and get this kid, and what caught his eye? I know we just talked about his stats, his maturity and all that, but what was it about Peyton Thorne that really, caused Hugh Freeze to go, we got to go get that guy right now?
Yeah, I think he's played at a high level. Like you said, he's played at a high level in some big football games at Michigan State, been successful. He's a guy that's really accurate throwing the football. When you look at him, his numbers are really good in the course of his career as a 2-year starter and played a little bit the season before. So he's gone out and produced, and he's done it at a high level. And I think another big thing is he's got 2 years left. That's the perfect case scenario if you're Auburn going, hey, if you come in and win this job, you either one of two things. Either you're here for 2 years and you can kind of groom the next guy if you're the starter, or you're here for 1 year, and that means you're pretty darn good, and that's the best case scenario in the end, is that, hey, he comes in, he lights it up, and he goes to the NFL. So I think that's a big part of this as well, is that he gives you some options because of that 2 years still left. But I think it's everything. His pocket presence. He's a pretty athletic guy, and they've been in a spread it out shotgun scheme, running his own read, and doing some RPO stuff. So it should be a pretty easy transition for a veteran guy like him.
Yeah, I do too. Real quick, Jason, only a couple minutes left. Won't get a chance to get into baseball. I know it's a big series, and Auburn looking to really continue to build off that momentum from South Carolina. But real quick, information on Auburn basketball, anything to report there? I know Tyron Lawrence is a possibility of maybe being added to this roster. Anything else out there?
Yeah, the only thing about Tyron Lawrence is he's been invited to the G League combine now, so he's taken the first step. The same thing, him and Janai Broom now are both in.
Oh no!
I think we lost Jason there.
You do that, then you start to have some questions about availability and what happens there. So I felt Tyron Lawrence is the guy that's going to wind up at Auburn, but if that's it up next week. It start to bump him towards potentially looking at professional basketball a little bit more. So that's the question. That's the hard part you have to deal with right now when you're talking about basketball recruiting, especially is actually you have to.
Yeah, well, Jason, I tell you what, man, it's a never-ending battle with basketball recruiting and football recruiting. It never stops now, and just the world we live in, and hopefully we'll get some good news from that too. But I know Bruce is hot on some other guys if we don't. But we appreciate it, Jason. Thanks so much for being on the program, providing that breaking news for us.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Have a good weekend, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Jason Caldwell with Inside the Auburn Tigers. Kind of broke up on us there at the end, but anyway, we got the gist of it. Got on here literally as we talked. Here he was.
He dialed in. It popped up.
Absolutely. Peyton Thorne now committed to Auburn from Michigan State. Stay tuned. One final segment coming up right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
L&G Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs.
We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadAgency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Hey, I'm Jeff Burke, General Manager here at Greenway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Anniston, where it's Ram Truck Month. Save up to $12,176 off Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn. That's a savings of 20%. Or select 1.9% interest for 72 months and save over $13,500 in interest. So come see us for all these deals and more here at Greenway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Anniston.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment of the program. Boy, this show just kind of shifted in a whole nother direction. Daniel says WDE here. I think a lot of people did. And look, let me say this about this. I've gotten some text messages that said, well, I mean, what's the big deal? I'm like, you were down to 2 quarterbacks.
Right.
And in the SEC, and look, Robbie Ashford had shoulder issues last year. Mm-hmm. He's a physical runner. This is not saying Robbie Ashford's not going to be the starting quarterback. What if he goes out there and gets hurt in the first couple of weeks? Then you got Garner, and that's it. And then you look around and go, well, if he goes down, what are we doing then? I mean, to me, you got to have 3 guys in the room. I think it's always been standard. Mm-hmm. You had 3 quarterbacks on your roster. But then you add in, this is not just an average guy. You're adding a guy that's this season, that's got 2 years of experience. He started
4,000 yards passing.
I mean, he set the record at Michigan State for touchdowns. I mean, this isn't just Joe Blow coming out of the portal. I mean, no, and everybody goes, well, yeah, what's he leaving for? Well, I just talked about Landon King yesterday. Landon King was interviewed by 24/7. And he said, look, I have no ill will at all. He said, I loved my time at Auburn. I just took my finals. I'm heading back home. Mm-hmm. He said, it's not the coaches. It wasn't that I didn't get enough reps with the 1s and 2s this spring, because I did. He said, I want to play tight end, and they want me to play receiver. Yeah. So he said, I thought it was best for me to go to the portal and find a place that somebody needs a 6'5" tight end. Right. And look, there's always more to it than – I don't know what Peyton Thorne's reason was for leaving Michigan State. But he's obviously been the starter the last 2 years, and he's got 2 years left of eligibility. And there may be a guy that's coming in that was neck and neck, and, somebody may feel like the other guy may have the edge or whatever. I don't know that. That's all speculation on my part. But there was a reason he left. That maybe he thought coming to the SEC gives him better exposure than the Big Ten. Ever thought about that?
Especially what's coming down the pipe.
Look, I know the Big Ten's prominent, but, he's going to play against Alabama and Georgia. And, the SEC's where the bread's buttered, period. I don't have to sit up here and make a case for that. You can go back and look.
He's going to be in primetime TV pretty much every Saturday.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, he's going to be in primetime TV.
So, there's a lot that goes into it.
That's right.
Again, like Jason said, he's thrown over 40 touchdowns the last 2 years. The yards have been in 21 it was over 3,400 yards. Last year it was like 2,700 yards, but they were a mainly rushing team. They tried to run the ball a little bit more at Michigan State last year. So look, I'm not saying that this is definitive that he's going to come in. It adds another quality quarterback to your room that you had to have, especially with TJ Finley. Now, again, I'm going to say this. It's a major upgrade from losing Finley to grabbing Peyton Thorne now.
It's exactly right. They're not even the same type of quarterback. The numbers talk. 3,400 yards 1 year. What have our quarterbacks done in the past 2 or 3 years?
Since Jarrett Stidham,
nothing.
So it's been hit and miss. So this is what you had to do if you're Hugh Freeze. And again, Hugh Freeze wasn't out there shopping around just to take anybody. You heard Jason Caldwell just say, it became a different situation when Finley left. When Finley was there, you had 3 in the room, and he was like, well, we'll see. It goes from being just lucked out that a quality quarterback like Thorne got in the portal on Sunday, but the whole thing changed for Hugh Freeze at that point. Is like, look, maybe I have to go now take a guy that I wasn't as high on because now I only have 2 guys in the room.
Right.
Changes your philosophy. So but anyway, as we talked about here on the program, Peyton Thorne from Michigan State commits to Auburn. Again, just got in the portal on Sunday. So
he's got a quarterback name too. It just sounds like a quarterback.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing. I have a lot of respect and expectations for Robbie Ashford. I thought he got better as the year went on.
He did.
I thought he had to battle through some really, really tough times. The offensive line was horrible. He got, hit, time after time after time. He's a physical runner. I thought he made some really good throws in that Alabama game, but a lot of people didn't know, even us on here, that Robbie Ashford for the majority of the season was playing with a bung shoulder, man. And that's, a lot of guys would have just said, look, man, I'm sitting this out. This team's horrible. But he continued to go out there and fight, and he deserved a lot of credit for that. He's got the guts of what you want in a guy. He wants to be the quarterback at Auburn. This is only going to make all 3. Holden Gardner's not out of the mix.
Right.
This guy was a 4-star guy coming out of high school that had a lot of accolades. So I think now what you got is 3 quality quarterbacks in your quarterback room.
Exactly.
All right.
And they all want to be there.
Well, that obviously it seems like it right now.
Right.
All right, going back, trying to kind of wrapping up what Jason said, and Tyron Lawrence, you don't know what his situation is going to be now as he heads to that G League combine, and he could possibly be a guy that could add to this roster depending on what his grade is and what he finds out from that. But Janai Broome, Jalen Williams, all out there doing the same. They have I think until May 30th to get out of the draft and then come back. So it'll be interesting to see over the next few weeks what ends up happening. I feel good about Janai Broome, Jalen Williams coming back. Tyron Lawrence is a hot commodity right now.
Yep.
With what he did at Vanderbilt.
But Cardwell's out there too, right? But
he is, but I don't think anybody. Not a cut on him. I think a lot of times guys go to this to see what they grade. They want that draft grade. They want the analyst to tell them what do they need to work on to get to that level. to give them a shot at getting drafted or making an NBA roster.
Right.
That's I mean, Bruce talked about that a couple of weeks ago. He said that this happens pretty frequently.
It's good information for them to have.
Well, it gives you something to build on this season. I mean, if you go, Scott, to the combine, they go, hey, man, you need to really work on a 15-foot jump shot, or you really need to work on this spin move or whatever. You need to master this. Now you go back to work and you go work on that stuff. So
that's right. That's right.
That's going to wrap it up for the Friday edition. Again, big news here as we came on the air about midway through, and Peyton Thorne to Auburn. So we'll continue to follow that for the rest of the weekend and into next week. For Scott Blake, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We'll hope you have. See you next time.
War Eagle.